What's the deal, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen? Now, next gen, I haven't done one of these in a very long time. First of all, I want to start off. This is my man, Jedi New York. Hold on, mute me in the back. Here we go. Good brother, good brother. Even though he's made videos disrespecting me in the past, you know I'm a man of God. But good brother. He is a Nintendo fan. You know what I mean? Why I don't know, but we're gonna get to the bombs. So this right there. What's plaguing this good brother? Now, me and him have a bet, right? And I'm gonna let him come out and explain. But basically, you know how I feel. Let's say how I feel about Nintendo because I was actually rooting for them. I wanted them to come out and because I missed the days of the big three battling out. You know what I mean? Taking the stage E3. And these last two generations, Nintendo's just been off. I don't know. Like, I just simply don't have a clue to what the gamer want. Like the gaming world to me is much bigger than what's going on, what's okay with there in Japan. And I've always said that the problem with Nintendo is they let Nintendo of Japan make the decision of Nintendo for America and Nintendo for Europe. You know what I mean? But again, I said it to say this. So early on and right after E3, which I thought was horrible for Nintendo, because I should say this, I was rooting for them. You know what I mean? The reason why I was rooting for them, like I said, I didn't feel like Nintendo, their back is against the wall. They don't have no choice but to come out, swinging. They've been in business for over 100 years. I was giving them a benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? Then I spoke to some people that I know, and then you had the unveiling, and we are today. My issue is, and I'm gonna let them talk. We get into our bet. Is that have we not seen this video already? That Nintendo's putting out, anemic hardware. They put out a console. Now, here's the thing: if we say handheld, I wouldn't have a problem. Handheld, I wouldn't have a problem. But Nintendo's not marketing it as this handheld. This is their 9th generation offering. Now, I don't care how much Nintendo will say they're not in competition with Microsoft and Sony. They are. They are lobbying for $1. You know what I mean? This is their 9th generation console, but they're putting out hardware in 2017 that's weaker than shit that came out in 2013. So there are going to be some games that are going to skip the Switch. And like I said before, if it does come to the Switch, it's going to be a modified version. But like I said, what the issue comes in is that when developers have to go out of their way to shoehorn games on your console, and it may not be financially beneficial to them, that's when we have an issue. Like we have already seen this movie before with the Wii U. They put out an 8th generation console that couldn't really run any 8th generation engines. I remember when Epic had when they unveiled the Unreal Engine 4, and then you had all like Dr. J, hey, but what about the Wii U? And he said, no, Unreal Engine 3 is for the Wii U. So again, I say that to say this. Me and this good brother's initial bet was that the Switch, here's my thing, if it does get third-party games, like let's say like Mass Effect 4s or whatever the case, just for shits and giggles, it won't be this. It'll be the same game, but it will be a watered-down version of the game. And
do you wanna give your specific statement on what that would be, just so we can have it on record and other people have heard exactly what the bet entails?
Well, the bet entails that the Switch won't have, like I've said before, the Switch won't have the same AAA graphically demanding games. And if it did get the game, it would be the Wii version. You understand? That's what I'm saying.
I just want to make sure we get this clarified.
Okay.
Your definition of like the quote unquote Wii version is basically what we spoke about before we got onto the podcast. And I'll give an example. Like the Madden for PlayStation 3 would be what would be quote unquote Madden, but the Wii version was like that kiddie version of Madden.
Okay, it would be like comparing Madden on the PS3 to Madden on the PlayStation 4. Same thing, same difference.
It's not the same difference because the Wii version wasn't even the same Madden game.
Well, okay. Listen, I'm not. When I say Wii version, I'm using that as, and I'm not talking the semantics. I'm using that as the GIMP version of the game. Okay, so when I say Wii, I'm talking about the GIMP version of the game. Same game, but it's a GIMP version of the game.
Okay, so can you be very specific, just so when these games come out, we can have an idea of who won?
I'll give you an example. Compare. Okay, here we can compare NBA 2K18, right?
Yeah.
You can compare that to NBA 2K18 on the PS4 and the Xbox One. It's not going to be the same version. Is that a good enough an example for you?
Well, it's not the same versions, but would you consider that the Xbox or the PlayStation version, one of them, are the quote unquote gimped version?
No, I'm what I'm saying is, the 360 version compared to the Xbox One version is night and day.
Okay, I got you now. So basically, what you're saying is whatever third-party game that comes to the Switch would look like the last gen version of
More or
this
less.
current
Yeah.
gen. Okay, that is pretty much confirmed then.
Yeah, that's
Now,
all. That's all I'm saying.
all right, cool.
You know, because I look at it because they were able to get Tomb Raider, right? Look at it like this, and I've always said you had Tomb Raider on the Xbox One and PS4, and you also had Tomb Raider on the 360. Now, you know what I mean, even though this I like this. Could you imagine how great that game could have been if they only were worried about next generation hardware and not have to fit that game on a half a gig of RAM? But here comes in the problem. It's not the RAM is the issue too, and I understand that they both are using different APIs, different architecture. The Xbox One and PS4, which is I don't know why Nintendo decided to go different, but they're using x86 and it's cheaper because the PC, all games are made on PC. They have that thing, but the Switch Achilles heel is the memory bandwidth, and this has been told to me by 3 different people within the industry. You know what I mean? And Nintendo's advertising this is not just like I said as a home console, and that it's underclocked already using the Tegra X1, but when it's used in handheld mode, you know what I mean? They want that same goddamn game to run on that. You know what I mean? Like I don't like. Do you like? I mean, just really think how can it run the same games?
All right.
Ain't
Well,
that
first of all,
information in the world?
all right. You want me to respond to that?
Yeah. You got it. The floor is yours, good brother.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you having me on your podcast.
Yeah. Don't thank me yet, nigga.
Everybody in Next Gen
Listen.
720
Don't thank me
world,
yet,
my
nigga.
name is Jetinightny. You can check me out on YouTube as
Check
well.
him out. Check him out.
Yeah. This is, at least in my opinion, I'm not going to sit here and speak officially for Nintendo, but this is what I believe Nintendo is doing here. You have ultra settings, high settings, medium settings, low settings. It seems to me when it comes to these current gen engines, your Anvil Next, your Unreal Engine 4s, your Unity 5 engines, what Nintendo is trying to do is really aim to hit those medium settings. So when you have the Switch docked, you'll be able to run these same games in medium settings, not the quote unquote low settings or some watered down, stripped engine version of this game. For example, what we've had with what was it, Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4, when you do a comparison between the PlayStation 3 version and the PlayStation 4 version, first of all, it looks really good for it to be a PlayStation 3 game. When you do a side-by-side comparison, you can then see the difference between it. You can see certain things that are missing from the area of PlayStation 3. You can see certain shadows or the looks of the water. However, when you have that game stand alone, it is really hard to see that this is not a current generation game. Keep in mind that these are last gen consoles, and I'll use the PlayStation 3 for example, that has 10 times less graphical power than its successor and 32 times less memory than its successor. It has only 256 megabytes of RAM, and the GPU is only 164 gigaflops in comparison to what the PlayStation 4 is obviously doing. Now, take those numbers and then have your audience go to YouTube and compare Battlefield 4, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 side by side. And you tell me if you see a 10 times difference, or when it comes to memory, a 32 times difference. This is my issue when it comes to people saying that the Nintendo Switch is going to get the quote unquote GIMP version or the last gen version of current gen titles. When this is updated architecture, sure, it doesn't have 8 gigabytes of RAM, but it doesn't need 8 gigabytes of RAM to run many of these games because many of these games don't require 8 gigs of RAM to run it. Also, there are certain avenues that the Switch can take in regards to what you said earlier in our conversation over Twitter in respects to certain things that they would have to compromise on when you was referring to the Digital Foundry video. Well, when you compare the PlayStation 4, well, before I even get to the PC part, when you compare the Xbox One to the PlayStation 4, there's certain things that the Xbox has to compromise. You know, when I sent you the video on the Steep game, the PlayStation 4 runs that game in native 1080p, 30 frames a second. The Xbox One can't do that. So they had to compromise on the resolution in order to get that game to run. This is going to be the same situation on the Switch. So the Switch may not be running this game Steep in 1080p native or even 900p native like the Xbox One. What they may have to do is run it in 720p and then either upscale it or just leave it in that area at medium settings. And then in the mobile version, have that go to low settings, 720p, and possibly boost it to 60 frames a second when you're on the go. But it's not like a quote unquote last gen game. It is the same game. It's just the same thing that the Xbox and the PlayStations of the world do. They compromise to get the games to work on their consoles.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. All right. It's time for me to listen. This is the educated brother from the bank. It's time to pull out the big guns. Let me ask you a question. The Switch is coming out. Am I right or wrong? Right? It's out.
Yeah, it comes out at least on my time. It comes out in 3 hours.
Okay. Oh damn! It's late there. Where you at?
It's 8:45 p.m. in Germany.
Jeez. All right. So the Switch comes out tomorrow. Well, today for you. Tomorrow. And around the Switch launch, you have several AAA multi-plat games. Am I right? You got For Honored. You got Ghost Recon coming out in a week or two, or this week. You have Mass Effect coming out next month, and there's no Switch version.
Yeah.
Now, listen, nothing sells new games on at launch, like I said, besides new hardware. The Switch is launching with Zelda, a Just Dance game, some bubble type game. Why do you think those games are not there at launch?
For the same reason that Steep is not there during launch. Look, these games, what gamers, at least in my opinion, tend to do is when they see a game, you just think it's easy to create a game and put it out on any console. Like there's no consequence whatsoever. There's no time to develop anything. Like these games just come through the ether and it's just suddenly created through like some weird evolution type thing, right? But that's not really the case. Steep is a game that came out in December of 2016. Yet Steep is coming to the Switch, but it's not coming to the Switch tomorrow. It's not a launch title, or day one launch title, I should say.
Okay.
It's because these games require time for development. Why would you expect a game like Ghost Recon Wildlands to come during the launch of the Switch?
Because the console comes out in a day.
But it takes time to develop for a console.
Okay, we're talking about Ubisoft. We're not talking about an indie developer, first of all. Okay, they've had Switch dev kits from day one.
With the dev kits, anybody knows, Zaire, that dev kits are subject to change. How many times have we heard about dev kits?
Not the infrastructure. I mean, it's gonna. I guess dev kits become how should I say more. You're able to get more out of the hardware. I get that, but it's still going to. You have a basic foundation of a parameter, what to target. Okay, to give you an example, the Scorpio's about to come out. They may not have exactly Scorpio dead with the Scorpio, but hey, listen, at least a target. You're able to make the game, but you can target 6 T-flops. They have what they can target, what they can do. You know what I mean? I get that. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is this. Again, like I've always said, when developers have to go out of their way to shoehorn these games in to work.
Now, you're already taking a negative disposition on the conversation. When you say that they have to shoehorn it.
Hear me out.
All right.
It's not even a negative. it's what you call this real shit here. Have we not? What was the problem with the Wii U and the Wii? You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. The Wii had a bunch of shovelware or whatever the fuck the case. I mean, we get it. Well, even the Wii U, developers had to go out of their way if they were, because I always said if they were supporting the PS3 and the 360, they could have made games. You know these games for the Wii U. But and the Wii U is more powerful than the P6, the 360, and the PS3. Now, with that being said, but developers had to go out of their way to shoehorn what is it? Was using PowerPC or whatever the fuck the architecture they was using, and different from what the competitors were using. It's a problem. Like we not seen this movie already before. All Nintendo had to do was put out a traditional console. It's your exclusives. They give your console its identity. I'm not saying you can still do your Mario Party, your Switch 1, 2, fine. That's you. But you have to have the other thing, the meat and potatoes that other gamers want besides that shit there. Because what Nintendo did again is just make a console that appeals to more or less to their enthusiasts. You know what I mean? The casuals, not everybody can play this. Not everybody can afford to have multiple consoles. Some people just want to have a console to be able to play their Call of Duties, their Battlefield, and that's it. You know what I mean? Or whatever, or their the Grand Theft Autos or whatever the goddamn case may be. And this is not it. So again, most of these Nintendo fans, they're looking at, well, the 3DS is successful, it's fine. The 3DS didn't become successful until it got about 2 or 3 price cuts. No one wanted to buy it at $250. And then even Nintendo themselves said that this is not the successor to the 3DS. They may make another 3DS. So I don't understand. It's like who's this console to appeal to besides diehard Nintendo fans? Have they not been paying attention? What's been going on? This whole generation has been about power, resolution, and frames per second. Am I right or
wrong? You're wrong.
It hasn't been.
It's been stated that that's what it's been, but the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One have not been consistently putting out games to where they're native 1080p 60 frames a second. I just told you about a game called Steep that the Xbox One couldn't run at native 1080p.
You proved my point. Let me say it again. I said this generation has been all about who had the higher resolution, who had more frames per second. This is
I understood what you were saying, but that's what I'm saying. The fact that the gaming hardware is not meeting those specifications, then I can't sit here and say that that's what this generation has been about. It hasn't. It hasn't been meeting it. So it certainly can't be about that. It can't be about something that it hasn't been doing. It's kind of like what you said a second ago when I said that when you use the term shoehorn. When you're trying to say that Nintendo is trying to fit something in a space where it doesn't fit, then by definition, that's taking a negative premise, brother. What Nintendo
even better. Here's the thing. What you're still not realizing. Again, Nintendo has already moved the generation forward. This is their 9th generation offering. Whether this is their 9th generation offering for their console. Mm-hmm. And again, and it's weaker than shit that came out in 2013. I don't see how that's not important. Come on.
I don't see it as that because
it's not. How do you not see? Explain to me, brother. Preach.
Because it's a mobile device. It's a mobile / hybrid device. It is the only one of its kind on the market.
Not true.
Really?
I mean, you have other shit that you can. I can hook my iPad up to my television and play games.
We're comparing iPads to PlayStation 4s and Switches and Xbox Ones now? I mean, we were just on Twitter a couple of days ago, and you told me when I was explaining to you the medium settings about Unreal Engine 4, and you made a comment about, well, we shouldn't be comparing iPhones.
No, now you said you said it's the only one of its kind. I said no. The fact that you can take stuff outside, that's been going on forever.
It's the only one of its kind in the space within the 3 big companies. That's certainly
okay. But what I'm saying is this: that right there is not nothing new. We got to stop acting like Nintendo just went out there and invented the wheel.
I didn't say that.
Sega was it Game Gear? It was a handheld. I can come back and hook up to see. That's not nothing new. Same thing with the TurboGrafx 16.
But nobody's playing the game
of their console for a feature. Here's the thing. This is my problem with Nintendo. Fuck it. I'm just shoot my load right here.
Yeah, there we go.
This is my problem with Nintendo. That instead of their, people say, well, Nintendo's innovative, they know this and that. Put your innovation into your games and stop trying to put your innovation into a gimmick that may or may not catch on with the masses.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? And again, no one, we're asking for this hybrid mobile, console. No, I don't see no one making videos about the fucking 3DS and the PS Vita. So
I don't see you making videos about innovative games such as Zelda that's been getting 10s all across the board.
Okay,
it's funny how you're saying that Nintendo needs to put innovation into their games and not their hardware. Yet when they put innovation into a game that has been critically acclaimed, 10s all across the board, I can look through your whole YouTube channel and I don't see one video about it.
Okay, fine.
So if this is your problem about Nintendo, if this is your problem about Nintendo, why haven't you supported that position by then turning around and making a video about Zelda when Nintendo does in fact do something that you are saying that you would praise, which is put their innovation behind their games.
Okay, here you go. You'd like to here you go, pick it up. Bing. Here's I don't need to switch to play Zelda.
That doesn't answer my question.
I'm about to. You know what I mean? Okay. Now I've always said I'm more of a Zelda guy. If you don't know, I like Zelda. I don't, I'm not more listening to Mario, but if I had to play one of their games, it would be a Zelda game. Fine. I give you that. Zelda looks awesome. But that still does not take what I'm saying that everyone's hype riding the Zelda hype train, which is it should be a great game. I get it. It should be praised. Fine. But I don't with their bragging point of saying the Zelda, that's why I'm getting switched. You don't need to switch to play Zelda. Well, if you want to hear this is what they come with the schematic. Well, if you want the best version of Zelda, you get the Switch. But I thought you motherfuckers didn't care about graphics and performance. Now you can't have it both ways now. Now you're buying the Switch because you want to get the.
What did you answer just now? You completely dodged my statement.
No, to me, what do you want me to say?
Go out. I want you to explain to me. I want you to explain to me why. No. I want you to.
Huh?
I need to explain to you. So you.
Okay, let me. There's a lot of games that came out. They got good scores that I didn't praise.
No, that's not what I'm going to say.
0.5. I didn't do a video about that either. I don't have the game.
Well, this is what I'm saying. You're making a statement in respects to Nintendo, yet the games that they are making that are quote unquote innovative, especially for an open world game that they typically don't do with that particular franchise, or at least for years.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's be realistic here.
This is what it is. They've raised the bar, at least from what other journalists who have given this 10s across the board, saying that this game is quote unquote perfect. This is what they're saying.
Are you sitting there?
And you haven't said
not
even a word about it anyway.
Okay, listen. I was trying to lay you down softly here. Put your head on the pillow. But
I've been owning you.
No, you haven't.
Last week, bro.
I'm that's the problem with Nintendo, with you guys. You sit there and they want us to handle them with white gloves.
No, I'm not asking you to handle you with white gloves. You said that you was gonna sit here and you was gonna get straight to the point on why you don't like Nintendo.
You're talking about Nintendo.
I'm not asking for white gloves, man.
Okay, listen, I'm about to get to you. You about to get you straight, no chaser.
There we go.
Talking about Nintendo needs to be praised.
I didn't say that.
Let's be clear.
They need to be
praised. All right. Praise them for fucking
what? I didn't say that though.
Listen, Nintendo is the grandfather of gaming, and they're so fucking far behind the curve. These senseless, they might be motherfuckers' grandfather. They got Alzheimer's out here, still fucking doing the shimmy or some shit. These motherfuckers comes to E3 with one goddamn game.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, could you imagine if that was Microsoft or Sony who did that again? E3 one fucking game.
I couldn't.
Let's be clear to this. Like, what the fuck is name? What else after Zelda? After this fucking iconic fucking game, what else?
Well, can I answer the question without you interrupting or asking me a question and answering it for me?
Hey, I'm gonna mute my mic.
All right, cool.
I want you to hit me live. I'm gonna mute my.
Shit like that is why you're my dude, bro. All right. First of all, I just want to say I appreciate you taking off the white gloves because we don't need those white gloves over here.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be on mute. All right. Yeah, of course. They came to E3 and they had one game, and it was like, well, you know what? This is it. Have at it. And then at the end of E3, they were praised as having one of the best, presentations at E3. At the end of the day, Nintendo marches to its own beat, to its own drum. What people who continuously criticize Nintendo, generally speaking, because there's some criticism out there that is valid. I'm not a fanboy. I don't do those things, right? But what these gamers want is for Nintendo to do what the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox is doing. All for them to then not turn around and support it or play the games, because it would be, well, there's no reason for me to have this box because my friends are all on Xbox Live or PlayStation 4, and I play my games primarily there. Nintendo is doing their own thing, and I don't see anything wrong with that. Yeah, you know what? They're the godfather of gaming, and they may be well behind. Well, you know what? It seems like everything that makes the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One popular, when it comes down to controls or certain aspects of things, it seems like the Nintendo was in fact the grandfather of, And yeah, sure, people can clown motion control. But as you know, as I told you earlier, when I played Call of Duty, my favorite Call of Duties wasn't on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4s. It was on the Nintendo Wii. Why? Because I like to get in a shot here. I was quote unquote mature enough to get past the graphics and instead settle for the innovation and the immersion that the motion controls provide. So while everybody was on Xbox 360s having to deal with people doing 360 no scopes with absolutely no talent, I was playing on the Wii with lesser graphical fidelity. But if you shot a person, it's because you had skills with the nunchucks and the analog stick in your left hand. You had to be nice with the motion controls. You wasn't doing 360 no scopes where I was playing. There's a difference. And because of the past decade and such, Nintendo not really concentrating on graphics, people feel some type of way. And it's cool. You can feel any way you want, but you can't say that Nintendo should concentrate on being innovative with their games, yet when they have an innovative game out, you clown it and say, well, that was the only game that they had out. What next? You never played it. You've never made a video on it. I've never seen you tweet about it. You've never even said, hey, that's a pretty cool game. It's like, what do you guys want? It sounds like you guys are just hating. You can unmute yourself. I have a feeling that I'm about to hold this podcast for my boy Next Gen. I think he just stepped away. There we go.
I couldn't come.
Yeah, I have a feeling that you only heard half of what I was saying.
No, brother, I heard everything you saying about the no talent, no scope. And I had listen. I almost went into a diabetic coma for all that sweet shit you was talking, brother. I heard everything you said.
Oh,
now listen,
man.
Okay, now listen. Now again, you have to admit that we're all. This is it's the nature of man to be slightly biased. And you have a soft spot in your heart for Nintendo.
I do.
More than right or wrong?
Yeah, absolutely right.
Okay. And again, I'm not listen. I ain't gonna pull a black bond on you and go back to your older Wii U videos. You were very pro Wii U. Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely was.
Okay, all right. We should, man. You can admit that.
Yeah, I have no problem admitting that.
Okay, and listen, I was telling you back then, am I right or wrong, that the Wii U was going to fucking fail?
Yeah, you was. You know what? All of YouTube was saying that. If you wasn't a Nintendo fan, you said that.
And I was listening. I wasn't one that just was voicing his opinion and then go out and buy the product. I spent more on the Nintendo Wii U at launch than most motherfuckers probably did throughout as soon as they had. I spent about $1,000, but all the multi-platform, but all type controllers, headsets, all types of shit, right?
I remember that.
So when I was speaking on my gripes and quarrels about the Switch, the Wii U, they were coming from a person who owns it, not going by what they read or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. And this is the same thing with the Switch. I say one time shame on you, next time shame on me. And they're not going to fucking get me a third time. Got the Wii, fucking burnt. I got the Wii U, fucking burnt. And with the Switch, and Nintendo said that they have learned from their mistakes, right? We learned from the mistakes of the Wii U. This is what the new president was saying.
Okay.
How could they say they've learned from their mistakes of the Wii? Actually, what do you think the Wii U mistakes was? Now, listen, You talking about power, which I think is power is very important.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And the reason why it's very, very important is because for the third parties are more like it's the fact, exclusives don't hold the bang that they once did. No, there's no exclusive that would ever sell Grand Theft Auto, Minecraft, NBA 2K, Madden, and so on and so on. You get exclusives every 4 months or whatever, every 3 months or so, AAA exclusives.
Mm-hmm.
And you get multiplats every Tuesday. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah.
Just about every Tuesday. You at least guaranteed to have one AAA blockbuster multiplat a month. Sometimes two. At least one, though. You agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. Now, Nintendo has set itself up again to miss a lot of those third-party AAA multiplats. Now, we can go back and forth all day about the hardware. They can scale it down. They can just get it down to 540p and all this shit right here. Fine. But what it comes down to at the end of the fucking day, and let's say they could get it up there. When developers, like I've always said, have to go out of their way to do that.
But what do you mean?
Is the issue. Nintendo makes their consoles.
Hold on, explain that to me.
Okay, I'm about to.
When you say go out of their way, because what you're doing is associating last generation's issues.
I'm just looking at the hardware and comparing to the competition.
Nintendo, you don't have to go out of your way to get.
Forget brother Jetinightny New York. Now I gave you a half hour.
Yes, you did.
Over here.
You're right.
Okay, I'm in. Nintendo makes their consoles for in-house first. Fact. If our games, if we can get Mario Party 65 over there, fine. And they've always had this approach, this thing like, this is what we got. You can't make it work, fine, fuck you. That's why they have lost so many third-party support and relations over the fucking generations. Now, with this console, we heard the same thing with the Wii U. We got all these fucking developers on board. Remember, EA came out, all these fucking people came out there and took the fucking stage. They want to have all these great third-party support. But here's the thing. They said that they learned from their mistakes. They're launching a console for about 5 games with a worse launch lineup than the fucking Wii U. At least the Wii U had Tekken Tag, you had NBA 2K, you had Madden, Assassin's Creed, you got Just Dance, fucking 17, Switch 1, 2. Like, come on, man. And Zelda. Cool. Zelda's cool. It's great. But I don't need to Switch to play Zelda.
So this reminds me of the Nintendo 64 launch. I think the 64 launched with 1 or 2 games, literally. Literally, the Nintendo 64 was the Mario 64 machine.
Before they had the Star Wars, they had
but it wasn't a launch title.
I had it around launch. I got this shit for Christmas.
It wasn't day one though.
Well, I got my shit around Christmas. I don't know when the goddamn console came out.
And when people get the Switch around Christmas, you know what they're gonna have? NBA 2K18 and all those other games that you would have around those holiday seasons.
Guess what comes also around? Guess what's coming out those holiday seasons?
All I'm trying to do, I'm not trying to go tit for tat on what's gonna be there. All I'm trying to do is clarify what you're saying.
What's much bigger than Mario. You're gonna have Destiny. You're gonna have Star Wars Battlefront.
You're missing my point. You made a comment that wasn't true.
What'd you say?
This is what we've been going back and forth on. You made a comment that wasn't true. Star Wars was not a launch title, day one launch title. You said that you got it around Christmas.
I don't listen. Let me respeak this game because you want to hear me. I don't know when the exact launch date for the Nintendo 64 was, but I bought it for myself in Christmas of 1996, if I'm not mistaken. So around that Christmas, I had Star Wars, whatever the fuck, Rogue or whatever the fuck it was called. I had it for Christmas.
Rogue Squadron, I believe.
Huh? Yeah, whatever. So I don't know when did the Switch come. When did the 64 come out? Maybe October or September.
It wasn't Christmas.
Oh, okay. Well, I got mine in Christmas, so we can say launch window. Okay.
All right. Launch window, you're gonna have something similar to that. You're gonna have your NBA 2K18s and any other game that was on that list that's coming out around.
That's not 2K. I'm a 2K player. Like you play your Madden, you love your football.
Yeah,
that shit they showed that shit. That's not 2K.
Well, we don't know what it is because we didn't get an official site of the game like the way we got Steep. It seems like Steep. It seems like Steep, which uses the same engine as Ghost Recon Wildlands, didn't seem like some GIMP game from last generation. Well, and you have yet to respond to me about that.
What I'm saying is this. I'll play this. Which our initial bet, we can maybe judge it by NBA 2K18, which comes out. It should launch on all consoles around the same time, right?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, okay. So our bet is, we can use the success that we know for sure. Unless something else comes out before then, and I can guarantee, like I've always said, that we're going to compare NBA 2K on the Xbox One, PS4, and compare it to the Switch version. The fact that I'm saying this again, but the fact that when that man was in that goddamn that goofy motherfucker was out in that park and he had the Joy-Con turned sideways, that's not fucking 2K. I don't know what the fuck that was.
Dude, it was a promotional thing. It's called a commercial.
Okay, you need at least 1, 2, 3, 4,
you know better
5, 6.
That, yeah?
You need at least 8 buttons to play 2K.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, but
what?
Yeah.
Listen, fuck this. As a Nintendo fan, fuck this. Real talk. As a Nintendo fan, aren't you tired of getting these shitty fucking consoles?
Nah,
when should you want to buy one? Hear me out. When should you want to buy one fucking console and have the assurance that you're gonna have all your 30? You know what I mean?
Because you're not gonna have that situation. Because even when Nintendo was the quote unquote king, and shout out to my boy D2K, he made a comment on I think it was my second to last video or like the third one. And he was explaining, even when Nintendo was considered the quote-unquote king and on top of its game, the third parties wasn't really selling like that in comparison to the Nintendo first parties. Then Sony and Microsoft are third-party machines.
When were they on top? Wait, this guy? Wait. First of all, his credibility is shot. Some of Nintendo's biggest games weren't made by fucking Nintendo. Contra, Double Dribble, Tecmo Bowl. I can go on.
I didn't say in terms
that's
of
when they were king.
Nostalgia or how awesome the game was. I'm talking about pure sales. At the end of the day, the companies that make these games are a business, brother. And if
but Nintendo, when are you talking about when Nintendo's been king? They haven't been king since the fucking Super Nintendo.
On the Super Nintendo
has been king since the NES.
And if you look at the top 10 of the Super NES and the NES, since you feel so strongly about when they were king, if you look at their top 10s, the majority of the top 10s were still first party games.
Okay. Did I not say that at the beginning? Let me say it again. First exclusives do not hold the weight that they once did. I've been saying that shit, brother.
It doesn't hold the weight that it used to when the person who sees that perspective are fans.
You were just talking about sales, right?
Can I finish?
Right, listen, you can't have it both ways.
I'm not
talking about the quality of the game. I'm not talking about some dipshit tippy who gave the goddamn game 10.
But what you have to do
about sales
is you got to let your guests finish.
Okay, no, but
if you want me to clarify what I'm saying,
I don't. We're playing spades here. I don't want you to renege.
You were talking about. I've always been the boss of spades. I don't play chess. Checkers, spades is my game, and Monopoly.
Listen, brother. Don't cut your partner. You were talking about sales. Am I right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to what I said earlier, that the exclusives don't outsell fucking multiplats anymore. I've already said that. So what is this guy talking about?
But you didn't let me finish my statement.
Okay, I'm listening.
When they were king, this is when the SNES was like the quote-unquote most powerful system out, right? But when it came to sales, those top 10 sales wasn't a plethora of third-party games. It was still first-party titles, even though the SNES was the quote-unquote most powerful system. The same thing with the Nintendo 64. The Nintendo 64 was the quote-unquote most powerful console out, but not only was it not the most selling of that generation, but even when you go through its personal top 10, it wasn't a plethora of third-party titles.
Why is that, though?
Because Nintendo has not been a console that really had the third parties as the forefront of the games that sold on its console. And the reason why that is because for two reasons. Number one, Nintendo has its own IPs. Number two, Nintendo used to control the other third parties with their Nintendo license of approval that guaranteed quality of games. Now that we don't have that, because we have Sony and Xbox that will practically put anything on their console for as long as it looks pretty, now you have games like Horizon that you just said was one of the most beautiful games you've ever seen, but it's all right. You have The Order 1886 that is the most beautiful game I've ever seen. I'm talking about PC, console, anything. The Order 1886 is the most beautiful game I've ever seen. And who plays that game today? Not a soul.
Okay.
You have multiple games that do this. And it's because they have an outlet to where they can give you eye candy, but zero substance. The problem with people who criticize Nintendo, they are so fascinated with the eye candy that they ignore the substance behind the IP.
Hey, bro, come on. People are criticizing Nintendo for no good reason?
I'm not saying that it's no good reason to them. We're all talking about perspectives here. I've not one time bashed anybody on your program just now. We're keeping it 100. I'm just saying, but I'm not being biased towards Nintendo.
Listen, we talking about from the wide spectrum here, okay? Now, okay. I just want before we get too far ahead, before I lose my train of thought, I just want to go back to what you were saying, because I've said that, you know, when Nintendo, I guess, were king back in the NES, and now to give you an example, of course, like I said before, like the exclusive don't sell like they used to, you know, that it don't, but it can be argued some of Nintendo's higher rated games, you know, Metacritic or whatever, were made by third party. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So that can, that can be up for debate. Fine, but transitioning, like the Nintendo had gaming in a headlock in a stronghold back then, right? It's Nintendo that got me in the game, and it wasn't Atari. I said that. I've always said that. Okay, but going forward, me as a gamer, I'm getting older, and how should I say? I used to play with toys. I don't play with toys. I mean, don't get me wrong. Video games are video games. But when I say that Nintendo game, and this is the problem when they lost the bulk of their audience, you know what I mean? It's because they still like to target this certain demographic, kid-friendly pop, menudo, boy band, new kids on the block. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you may not have some mature games on a Nintendo platform. I think what was my shit I got for the GameCube? Oh my god, the scary game.
Resident Evil?
Huh? No, not Resident Evil. Eternal Darkness.
Eternal Darkness. Okay.
Great fucking game. But I, you know what I mean, like to see Nintendo step out of the box and make something else besides Zelda, Donkey Kong. You know what I mean? You know, even to this day, their games don't really have full dialogue. I don't want to sit and read a bunch of shit on this goddamn screen. Oh, Mario! You know, like, come on. It's fucking 2017. What they do is good. I give them that. What they do is good. But the problem, like I said again, when it comes to, because not everybody can afford to have multiple consoles.
I don't think the affordability is the problem here.
Shit,
anybody who's playing,
how many consoles
you can't afford,
you have one console, right?
No,
you have one console, and you're a Nintendo fan. You even said yourself,
I don't have one console.
Well, a PlayStation 4, one current gen console.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Listen.
But does PCs count?
You like them Bible thumpers. Well, we're not talking about literally. We're talking about figuratively.
No, I'm not.
I say you have made many consoles, but weren't current gen console. You even told me yourself that you're not getting the Switch right now, right?
Yeah, I'm not getting the Switch right now.
Why is that, brother?
Because there's no games that appeal to me.
Oh, my brother.
I mean,
you said, man, I like the white man's meat.
Speaking of Bible,
you eating pork, my brother? Come on, listen. You come down back.
This is beginning to be like a one-sided conversation, though. You kind of been going on for your half hour, but I can't address anything that you're saying.
You just told me in respect. You said your friend BK from the Bronx, what the fuck he is.
D2K. I didn't say he was from the Bronx.
Yeah,
why you be getting things so misconstrued, bro?
Yeah, listen. You said that he said that when Nintendo was king and when they had their third-party games and outsell their exclusive. Cool. I didn't say that.
What are you talking about?
That's what
you kind of going all over the place. I just wanted to address.
You did say that. You said your friend BK hit you. You said when Nintendo was considered king, that their multi-platform
that is absolutely correct. It in their top 10, their third parties was not running that list. We got past that like 10 minutes ago.
Oh,
but I'm trying to address what you just said.
But I've always said from the beginning that, and I'm gonna say it again. Okay, listen, I don't think you get what I'm saying, because we're kind of saying the same thing.
Nah, I get what you're saying. It's only that you keep reiterating it, like you're trying to make some definitive point. There's no point to be made.
What you mean?
This is true. Nintendo does not sell third-party games the way Sony and Microsoft does. This is not something that you have to say and kind of make like this super definitive statement. Anybody who knows that can say it. I'm not
why is that,
a fanboy. I just enjoy Nintendo products, but I don't got to defend, you know, the undefendable. This is true. But I'm looking to get beyond that since this has already been solidified.
Okay, so and listen, so in this day and day, in this climate, okay, whether you agree with the business role model or not, you have to be successful in this business. You have to offer what your competitor is offering, and then more. Would you not agree with this? That's just basic business 101.
No, you don't have to.
Oh,
you don't.
Okay, how successful do you think will Sony be right now if they didn't have Call of Duty, Battlefield, or online voice chat? Just the basic shit.
Well, they wouldn't be successful because Sony is only providing you a box for third-party content.
Okay.
You see the difference. What you are not taking into consideration is that Sony and Microsoft don't have first-party games. They're not first-party companies. They're barely second. I'm not saying that they don't literally have one or two, but their entire makeup as a gaming company doesn't consist of their first-party games. It's mostly their second-party games and their third-party games, which overwhelmingly is their third-party games. But it's not really because of their first-party games.
Okay, fine. I'm not even a Halo fan, but we can both agree that Gears.
I mean, you're not a Halo fan, but
I'm sorry, Gears, Forza, and Halo makes more money than fucking Mario. We can agree on that, right?
I'm sorry.
I said I'm not even a Forza guy or a Halo guy. More or less forget, but you can, you said they don't have games. Those are billion.
I didn't say that. I did not say that they don't have games.
But this is what I'm saying. Hear me out. I said, those are their first party staple, which make more money than fucking Mario and Zelda ever could.
No, they don't.
Or just from DLC alone. What are you talking about? You serious? Matt Pack? Those are $1 billion goddamn games.
Dude.
Mario not making no fucking $1 billion.
Dude.
It may sell 4 million copies or 5 million copies.
I'm not even going to get into that conversation.
I'm not talking, listen, I'm not talking about over the lifespan of Mario. Yes, it's
I'm not talking about over the lifespan.
Okay, I get that. But I'm talking about when Zelda comes out. Zelda's not going to make $1 billion.
Dude, you can go into Mario Kart, Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers World, Smash Brothers, all of these games that are either specific games revolving around Mario or games that are supported by the Mario character.
Per title.
There's nothing that
$1 billion per title.
2.5 million sales is going to do to even touch that. Bro, I mean, you have people who are buying Mario Run on their iPhones for $10, bro, and all they're doing is tapping the screen just because it's Mario.
Let me say what I get again. I said, whether you take what's the last Smash Brother that came out? Whatever Smash Brother for the
last one that came out. I don't know. It was on
that title didn't make $1 billion. I'm taking it per title. That did, Wind Waker, whatever the fuck you.
But we're not. You didn't say you're taking it per title. You said Mario.
I did. So I said.
You said Mario. You said that these titles make more money than Mario. It's obviously not true.
I'm gonna let you go. Then I'm gonna go. Get. How you gonna tell me what I? This is what I said. You said that
you just said
Microsoft and Sony. Okay, you said Microsoft and Sony don't have first party titles.
I didn't, man. What you need to do is you need to have a dialogue with me. We need to both be able to talk.
Okay.
I don't need to tell you what you said.
I'm gonna cut my mic off. I want you to state your statement.
I don't want you to turn your mic off. No, both mature enough to hold this conversation.
What you said. Because it was right, it was like, my God, what the fuck are you talking about?
And if you're gonna do that, what I'll do is I'll backtrack to what you said prior.
Okay.
At the end of the day, Nintendo does not have to follow the rules of Sony and Microsoft. They don't have to do that. And the proof is in the pudding because they're not doing it. You are a gamer. You don't have to buy the Switch. You don't have to play Zelda. You don't even have to review it on your YouTube page, even though you said that you wish that Nintendo would make innovative games. You don't have to even review that game. Any person that's on your live chat right now, that's in the comment section, they don't have to buy the game. They can stick with PlayStation and Sony. I mean, and Microsoft. That doesn't bother me none. Like I said, I'm considered the casual gamer.
For Nintendo, how can Nintendo be successful without the masses, bro?
The masses don't want Nintendo, right?
So how can they be successful?
Because they have their niche.
Was the Wii U successful?
The Wii U wasn't. You asked me a question about the Wii U, and I never got a chance to answer it because you asked me and then went on. So since we're back on the Wii U, let me answer that question. You basically asked me what was the problem with the Wii U? Why did it fail? This is why the Wii U failed. The Wii U was a glorified demo version of what the Switch is actually today. They gave you a console with the vision of the Switch, but at that moment in time, they couldn't fulfill it. So they gave you a console that was not up to speed when it came to what was going to be coming out in regards to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. And then it was clunky. It had droughts. The third parties wasn't there the way they would have been there if it would have sold as much as the original Wii. It had a poor name, the Wii U. Nobody liked that name. Of course, I supported the Wii U. And I'll tell you right now, I didn't like the Wii U. Why? Because it had droughts. It didn't have a lot of games that I wanted, right? Like I said, this is not, you're not talking to those usual people that like everything that Nintendo does. I'm not that guy. But I don't hate on Nintendo. That's the difference. People hate on this company. I don't hate on Sony. I own a PlayStation 4. I don't hate on Microsoft. I don't own an Xbox One. I don't want one. But I had a 360, right? I don't hate these companies. I don't think that it's my duty to get up in the morning and talk crap about a console, a company that don't pay the bills, right? And the second thing that you asked me was, not everybody can buy multiple consoles. Well, look, if you can't buy multiple consoles, then that means you can't afford one console. Maybe you shouldn't be playing, right?
Damn. That's some Donald J. Trump talk right there. God damn. Sorry,
I'm just saying, if you're so concerned about what other companies are doing and what they're putting out and what you want, if you're talking about what you want, but then again can't afford these things, then you need not to be a consumer in that respect, right? Like, I understand that the Nintendo is never going to get The Last of Us and Uncharted. So if I ever want to play those games, I need a Sony console, right? Whether the Switch had the best graphics in the world or not, that's just a fact, right? There's going to be a situation where third parties feel like they're going to generate more capital if they go to third-party machines, such as Sony and Microsoft's offering, and not one that is really dedicated to first-person games, which is Nintendo. That's just what it is. I'm not saying that this is not the case. This is the case. What do you want me to say to that? At the end of the day, these are the things that I play.
Okay.
I like motion control. You don't gotta like motion control.
Fine. Okay, fine. All right. Can I answer you? Which didn't make any sense to me.
Well, you can respond to what I said. Okay. I didn't ask you a question. This is
your opinion, but this is where I disagree. You said Nintendo doesn't have to offer what Microsoft and Sony are offering to be successful in this landscape of selling video games. Now we're not talking about hats versus dresses. We're talking about video games in this market here. Okay. So would you agree that the Wii U was not successful? You agree?
The Wii U? No, It wasn't successful in my eyes.
Okay, fine. So again, Nintendo's same format. Nintendo's out with a console.
Wait, what do you mean same format?
So I'm not here to you. Another gimmick, whether you like it or not, a hybrid on the go or whatever, fuck the case may be. Yeah. A better version of what didn't work for them already, right? They come out with a better, so you say a better version of what didn't work for them already, right? Another console that's under less powerful than what's been on the market for 3 years. Same thing, right? So again, you're going to have third-party games, right? Which are more important than exclusive in this climate. In this modern day. I'm not talking about in
what climate are you talking about? Because you can't be talking about the climate of a company that owns third-party IP.
Finish? Okay. Calm down. I know you're upset. All right.
I'm not upset. I'm just trying to have you clarify when you talk about climates. This is not a climate. This is gaming climate.
Multiplats are more. I'll give you an example. Right now, everyone's talking about Zelda. Everyone's talking about Horizon. Do you think they're going to be talking about that for a month and now?
Horizon is trash. So
we're going to be talking about Mass Effect 4.
The Horizon is not going to be talked about because Horizon is not a good
Zelda's
game.
not going to be talked about either. It doesn't have a multiplayer. So, right?
Zelda will be talked about longer than Horizon. Okay. Let's put it that way.
I beg to differ, but
well, you know
about
what?
a month from now, we're going to talk about Mass Effect 4.
It'd be a damn shame if a game that is multiple times better than Horizon is not talked about more simply because Horizon had candy graphics.
This is not
That'd be a damn shame.
Listen,
and this is what's wrong with the gaming industry. Maybe that's the climate that gaming should be concerned about.
You say what's wrong with it or not, it doesn't make a difference, okay?
It doesn't make a difference because there's nothing that I would say that you consider to be relevant.
You're preaching to the dope things in the alleyway. Fuck that, they're going to get high.
Sometimes
you agree with it or
in
not,
the alleyway know the truth about what's happening on the streets.
Listen, whether you agree with it or not, we are in a what you can do for me right now, okay? A great as Zelda is, fine. I still got my Wii U. I can play it if I choose to. Fine. The great as Zelda is, right? About a month and a half now, no one's going to be talking about fucking Zelda. You're not going to see any fucking videos on YouTube talking about Zelda. Everything's going to be Mass Effect 4. And guess who doesn't have Mass Effect 4? Nintendo. Okay?
Yeah. So and you know what? A month and a half after Mass Effect comes out, nobody's going to be
about something else.
Exactly.
We're going to be talking about something else.
So what's the point? You just said about an hour ago, right? And you talked about how every Tuesday there's a new game that comes out, and months, and every month we have this and that. So I don't care that a month from now people are going to be talking about Mass Effect 4 because a month after that nobody's going to give a fuck about Mass Effect 4. Because I mean we're in the quote unquote climate today where people don't even finish their games and call themselves gamers. Now me, I don't call myself a hardcore gamer. So if I don't finish a game, that's what it is. But all of these people that wear this badge of honor of being a super hardcore gamer, all they do is participate in these conversations and take sides because that's just the cool thing to do. Meanwhile, these are the same people that we then turn around and say they may not be able to afford multiple consoles. It's the most ridiculous. If you can't afford multiple consoles, then how are you affording all these games multiple times a week for multiple months a year?
Bro,
look, man,
listen again.
It's asinine what you're saying right now.
From the hood. And not everybody was able to afford the Super Nintendo and the Genesis, but whatever they got, whether it's with the Genesis or the Super Nintendo,
you can't be an adult and say that.
Listen, bro, listen. I'm okay financially, right? I don't have to.
You already studied on that picture, so I already know.
I don't have to squeeze dicks and fucking sell consoles to buy new shit. I get it. Yeah. So I said it to say this: not everyone can afford to have multiple consoles. Everybody's gonna have the Xbox and the PlayStation.
If you're a teen, then I agree.
No, bro. If you're an adult, not everybody. Listen, bro. You may be in a fixed income. Motherfucker may have autism. Like shit happens. You know, I can't compare my situation to everybody's situation.
If that what I'm saying is there's something in life, you know, when it's like
responsibility. I can't enjoy my games and play games because I can't afford to have everything.
If that's your situation, then you shouldn't be having any console.
Oh, come on, good brother. Come on, good brother.
Hey, listen,
I wasn't brought up with a silver spoon in my mouth.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know.
I got out and got it. You feel me? I'm okay now. But
I know. Dude, you've been showing me that same stack of money since 2012, bro. I already know you good.
I know. So again, I'm not comparing my situation. Everybody's situation is different. Now, just because they can't afford to have the Xbox and the PlayStation together simultaneously, that don't make them less of a gamer or say they shouldn't be gaming.
No, I mean, I just don't think that it's a situation where it's a financial thing. I think that certain people may not have certain consoles because they don't need that console, especially when it comes to Microsoft and Sony, because they're third-party machines. If you are a Halo person and you can do without The Last of Us and Uncharted, then there's really no reason for you to own a Sony console. You can go get an Xbox.
If you call yourself a gamer, right? Like you said, a gamer.
Okay.
Who would want to do without Gears if you can afford it in Halo? Maybe now you can have a preference. Like I'm an Xbox guy. My PlayStation just for my exclusives. Now the same thing with the Switch. I don't see myself spending $300 just to fucking play Zelda.
And you're not a gamer.
I've been playing video games.
A gamer is not about the hardware, because if it's really about that, then all of these people would be PC elitists, right?
Bro, I'm a consumer before anything.
I mean, what does that even mean? You're a consumer.
I'm explaining to you. I give you an example. I bought the Wii U day one. What about you? Agree with that? All the games and stuff. I'm sure you saw the videos, right?
Why would you do that?
Okay, because why? Here's the thing. You
2012,
said,
2013,
you said
when you bought that console, you wasn't even confident in that console. I remember this. I was around back then. We was tight then.
You let me explain to you?
All right,
let me explain. Okay, I am a gamer, right?
All
I buy everything. I might have
a
preference.
You haven't gotten Zelda.
Let me finish.
Everything. You have Zelda right now?
You gonna let me explain to you?
All right. Okay. I just wanted to know if you had Zelda.
I'm a gamer. I own everything. I play on everything. Okay. I may have my preference. I'm not going to deny myself a game because I don't, I prefer another console. I'm, like, seriously, it's not that serious to me. Now, also, like I said, I am a consumer before any goddamn thing. With the Wii U, I bought it, right? I bought all the multi-plats, and when I got on the Wii U, I've always said this, it felt like I was taking a step back. I couldn't do this shit that I was used to doing from fucking 2001. With online, like the shit was just like so dated.
I can understand personal preference. I understand.
Okay, now boom, moving forward. So I saw their E3 in 2013, and again, I couldn't justify myself owning a console just for fucking Bayonetta 2. I'm sorry, I got rid of the motherfucker. I'm not into Mario Kart. I'm a grown ass man. I don't want to shoot turtle shells and all that shit. That's not my thing. I'm not knocking it. If you like it.
I love the 2D side scroller. You can't tell me nothing about Super Mario. But I don't play that 3D nonsense. But 2D all day long, I'm getting it.
Okay, I don't need a Nintendo console to play that. Fine. I like my size, like the radius and the gyro. Radius.
But when you say you don't need a Switch to get it, are you talking about you play like on emulators? You telling me that yet you don't support these guys?
To play 2D side scrollers, I don't need a Switch, a Wii U or Steam.
But if a game comes out on the Switch
that appeals
to exclusive to the Switch, or
voice chat. There's no game invites. There's no come on. I have to have a paid fucking app on my cell phone to talk to my friends.
Yo, I'm not sitting here telling you that there's some real backwoods nonsense that's going on with Nintendo. I'm not denying that.
Again, so why am I going out and giving them my money? Okay, listen, let me say this again. Why am I going to go out there and give them my money, right? If they still are not, I can't stream my games. I can't go online. Like
play everything.
2017. Most gamers
said it, not me. You said that you play everything. I never said that you played everything.
Okay. Okay, let me say.
Then you don't play everything. Then you should stop saying that.
I play everything that I like.
There you go. There you go. Because I do the same thing. I play everything that I like. I don't say I play everything.
But why do you think Nintendo has a very small audience and they don't have a presence here online?
Nintendo doesn't have a very small audience.
They don't?
No, they don't. How many units did the 3DS sell?
Listen, their audience is just as big as the Xbox and the PlayStation.
The Nintendo 3DS has sold 70 million.
We're not talking about handheld machines here.
No, dude, the Nintendo Switch is a mobile console hybrid. Okay. How are you telling me we're not talking about mobile devices?
Okay, first of all, I want to correct you on this, okay? According to Nintendo, Reggie, this is their home console.
You know what's wrong with
take them to go. Fine, not a problem. Okay, fine.
Statements from people on the internet, and then they make it seem like nobody else can have an opinion on that same topic. I don't care what Reggie said. We know very well that the Nintendo Switch is a mobile device. It is also a dockable device that can be considered a home console. But to sit here and pretend like it's not a mobile device is ridiculous. We both know that it's a mobile device.
Bro, this is what Nintendo's saying.
I don't care what Nintendo said. I'm telling you what they presented to me. That's like saying, well, bro, Nintendo said that this is the next generation, but this is what they offered in their 9th generation offering. So Nintendo told you one thing, but based on your feelings of the Nintendo Switch, you feel contrary to what they're telling you, right? So how is it that you can have that feeling, but when I'm telling you about the mobile device, it can't be true. It has to be what Reggie said. How is this working here?
I think it's a dog shit product all across the board, but
I'm not saying that you're wrong.
Okay, but what I mean by audience
to defend that.
Okay, but this is what I mean by audience. Okay, the reason they don't have a presence here online. Okay, let me finish.
Before you jump the gun, but I don't want you to move from that portion. You said that they don't have a following, based on what Nintendo has for their mobile portion, they have.
Brother, we can sing together. We can't talk together.
The Switch is a mobile device. It's going to attract the people who play their mobile games.
Bro, that's not what I'm saying.
That is the absolute fact.
Jedi, listen. This is what I'm saying. You ready? I'm gonna say it again. The reason why they don't have an audience You ready for this?
It's already ridiculous to me. They don't have an audience. They sold 70 million.
Are you gonna let me finish?
Of course I am.
Okay. The reason why they don't have an audience, especially online and shit like that, is because they don't allow their games to be played nor streamed online.
That's not true. They do allow it. They just have a program where they want a percentage of that money.
Once again, I said on YouTube, okay? What about on Twitch? What about Beam? What about the other fucking pro? They don't allow it.
I can't answer for that because I'm not on Twitch. Remember, I'm not a hardcore gamer. I don't
which is very big
when I play
and live streaming is just as big as fucking YouTube as far as gaming. It's huge.
It's probably bigger. But you asked me a question.
So again,
I'm telling you I'm not on Twitch. I don't know the answer to the question.
So if you don't know the answer, I'm gonna tell you. Okay, they don't allow that shit on their fucking console, right?
All right.
So again, they're missing this bigger market. All right. Let me tell you something. I do YouTube, right?
No. Let's
you how many times I hear about this?
And let me reiterate to you.
Word of mouth is a motherfucker.
70 million.
What does a 3DS have to do with the Switch, brother?
Because it's a mobile device. Can we stop pretending like you don't know what I'm talking about here? And you said that you don't want to deal.
That market is not guaranteed to buy a fucking $200 goddamn tablet, brother.
Next gen.
Let's be real.
Zaire,
you act like everyone that bought a 3DS is going to run over and buy a fucking
Just because you interrupt me doesn't take away the fact.
No, it's not, because what you're saying, that's like saying this because the 360 sold 90 million. Everybody from the 360 didn't go fucking buy an Xbox One.
No, the fact that you're saying that they don't have an audience when obviously
I'm talking about consoles.
And
we talking about a console.
If you're not gonna take into consideration what the Nintendo Switch is, then what is the point of even holding this conversation on a podcast?
This nigga here, hey, this nigga here is the honorable brother from the bank. This nigga here is terrible. Oh man.
I mean, if you want to talk about what it really is, if you don't want to deal with Nintendo people with like white gloves, then keep it 100. Don't sit there and say that they don't have an audience when they obviously do.
Bro, okay. So that audience, this audience, let's be real. Did this audience buy Wii U?
Only 13 million of them.
Okay, again. So I say that to say this. Again, that this 3DS market, whatever you're talking about, the 3DS tablet, again, they didn't want to buy the 3DS when it was $250. They said it was too expensive.
Yeah, and they were right. Okay. Obviously, it was.
Okay, now from the mobile. But listen,
what happened?
The price drop. But let me finish. So from the mobile hand part, you said mobile, right?
What did the people who stated that it was too expensive? What did they go out and do?
I guess they bought.
They purchased it. That's the answer. They purchased it. 70 million of them.
Okay, fine. So no one bought the 3DS when it was $250, right? Now you're talking about the same handheld markets and go out and spend $300, right? Listen to this. The same theory, right?
Okay.
Now, okay, fine. Now comparing that again, because Nintendo's not going to cut the price of this thing anytime too soon. The Wii U was still dead in $250, all right? So they're going to. So you're saying these masses of people are going to run out and buy this handheld, which Nintendo said they're not ruling out of making a successor to the 3DS. This is from Nintendo own mouth, right? Two different markets for them. Now, this is Nintendo. It's not my opinion. This is what Nintendo was saying, okay?
Okay.
So they're not, again, this is not the successor to the 3DS. So maybe their market may not even go. Because I remember, again, no one wanted to buy a Vita to have those console and play those console type games on the go.
The Nintendo Vita, something that I have, didn't provide you with console games. They provided you with games that were made popular on console, but they gave you mobile versions of that game. Those games wasn't console games. That's the difference between the Switch and the Vita. So we can compare it, but those games weren't console games. They were mobile games.
So the Switch is going to have these console type games.
Dude, the last I checked, Zelda was bigger than The Witcher. It was bigger than Grand Theft Auto 5. It was bigger than Skyrim.
Let's be real. Okay, I'm glad you said that. Bigger, right? So we take games, like I said before, games like Mass Effect, huge games, right? Because they already got games that are digitally bigger than the internal memory on the fucking Switch, right? Let's talk about it, right?
Let's talk about it.
You have DLC for these games. These same games that you said the Switch is going to get, you have DLC that's 40 fucking gigs.
Yeah.
And those games are coming to the fucking Switch with cartridges, right?
Your point?
You got games that are 80 gigs. Those games are coming to the Switch, right? With DLC, 35 gigs.
Why couldn't
updates,
they? Dude, the last I
gigs.
checked, see, this is what the problem is with people who like to be in an industry, yet for some reason it seems like everybody's poor. If you have a Switch, right, and you want to do one or two things, one, if you want to get your games digitally, then go buy yourself a flash drive. Or
a flash drive, if you want, flash drive.
If you whatever the flash drive is, or the
they don't support flash drives, external drives.
It does, dude. It's under the kickstand on the Switch.
It supports memory cards, external
flash drives. It's flash memory that it supports.
Huh?
It supports flash memory, Zaya.
Yeah, cards.
What's the difference? It's memory.
Oh, okay, all right. It supports SD cards. Okay.
I didn't get anyway. If you want to download your games digitally, then go buy that. If you want to get all of your DLC, then you know what? Go buy that. What you don't have to do, though, is the standard version of the games, or they do not require you to have hard drive space, unlike the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, because if I'm correct, these games, you can't even play them unless you download the game from the disc to the hard drive. You don't got to do that with the Switch.
Okay.
So the hard drive, in Sony and Microsoft's offerings, their requirement for the Switch, it's not a requirement for you to go out and get yourself 256 gigs of flash memory. It's not a requirement.
Listen, but how, bro? Listen what you're saying. How can the Switch? How could you play the games? You only have 25 fucking gigs of internal fucking memory.
You don't need to download the game from the SD card.
But what about the updates for the games? Okay, listen, because this is your argument that the Switch.
No, this is not my argument. This is your argument.
No, it is. You said that the Switch will have the same type of games as the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4.
And that is not an argument. That's a fact.
Okay. Okay. So
I'm not arguing that.
Okay, so for the Switch, because you said it's an option. So if I buy the game, of course I'm gonna have to buy external memory because these games have massive updates all the time. Okay. But I was going to say this for the end of part of the conversation. You know why this Switch won't have the same fucking games? You know why? Because how many goddamn games have we got this generation that are always online? The Witcher 2, Titanfall. I can go on, you know what I mean? I mean, not The Witcher 2, I'm sorry. The Watch Dogs 2, Titanfall, Star Wars Battle. I can go on and fucking on. And the main thing for the Switch is you be able to take that shit on the go. You don't have the internet with you on the fucking go. Not everyone.
You can get
how the fuck are you gonna get that game?
Dude, are you kidding me?
Yes.
Let me tell you what I used to do with the Wii U. Back when I was living back in New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to have lunch. I used to work at Lord & Taylor on Fifth Avenue.
Okay.
So go downstairs. I went to, I think it was Target or something, purchased a television, brought my Wii U over to the job. So anytime, my coworkers and all, we were all on lunch, we'll go down to the, locker room when we play games. You know how we played on the Wii U? You know how we played? Can I finish the story, bro?
Go down to the basement to play the Wii U.
Right here. Can
exposed.
Can I finish the story?
Go ahead, brother.
So, you know how we got the internet? We used our cell phones and just made it a hotspot because there was only 5 megabytes of information that you needed to play multiplayer Call of Duty.
Oh my God! Wait. Again. So what if you don't have again? So you take
wait. This is a good question. Ask the question that you was about to ask. Okay. I got an excellent answer.
Again, what was told to me per another developer.
You was about to ask me, what if you didn't have a cell phone for the internet, right?
Because again, a lot of games requirements are always online internet. Okay?
What if you buy this game and you don't have internet in your house?
Oh, okay, no, I'm not talking about my house. One of the main
how are you?
I'm not talking about the house.
To make this conversation some sort of vacuum to where it always benefits your narrative.
On the go. I said on the go. I didn't say about your house. I said when you just one of the main features of the Switch is you better take this console-like experience with you on the go. And I said to you, that's another reason why the Switch won't have the same type of games. Because a lot of these games requires an always online function.
But you can use the Switch online in your house the same way you use the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One.
Bro, let me say it again.
No. You're trying to corner the Switch into a situation to where it seems like you can't get a game that you can obviously get.
I'm talking about on the go.
It doesn't. The PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One are not playing these games on the go because it's always online. Is what you're saying, right?
Okay. Again, another reason why the Switch won't get the same type of game. So a lot of these games.
I just killed that noise. I told you use your cell phone. Everybody has a smartphone. You telling me you can't use your phone as a hotspot and access Wi-Fi?
Some motherfuckers got Obama phones. So, dude, no, even better. I'll give you an example.
But this is what's wrong with the people who are dealing with the games, and you shouldn't have Obama phones.
Bro, listen, not everyone has unlimited data. But you do realize this, right?
Yes, I do understand that. I live in a country.
There are a lot of kids out there with unlimited data because this console's for the kids. So a lot of kids out there don't have unlimited data. I'm just gonna hook this up to my phone so I can still play my Watch Dogs 2 on the go. Like, come on, bro.
But you. I mean, man, this conversation is just so freaking weird, bro. If you don't have the internet on the go, then don't play that game on the go. You can't. You have to wait till you go home and then you play it. Like, how do you conclude that a game can't come to a console because you can't play it on the go when you can play it in your house?
Listen, bro, let me say
it's not. No, it is not. First of all, you just sat there and said a couple of minutes ago that Reggie himself said that this was a console first. You cannot now just say that this is a main feature of the console.
This is what I'm saying. This is the point I'm trying to drive home. Because from my initial base, another reason why
you're driving something, but you ain't driving home, bro. Because
I said to you, our debate was that the Switch won't have the same type of games as the Xbox 330. If it is, it'd be a watered down version of the games. Like
and I'm telling you that.
And I said another reason for this because when the Nintendo's here, let me say it again for you, brother. Another reason for this because Nintendo's best feature of this quote hybrid console, or this handheld, whatever the fuck you want to call, is that you can take it with you on the go. And I said a lot of games in this fucking day and in this climate are always online. This is what I said. So there's no. Say if you don't have an internet connection,
then you can't play it on the go, bro. Like, give a clue. You can't play it on the go. That's it.
But that's going against their false advertising. I better take this shit.
It's not that. No, it's not. It's not that you can't play it on the go. It's not that you can't. You can technically, but you just said yourself, well, not everybody has unlimited data on their phone or have a hotspot. Well, that's on them. I don't have to worry about that, right? So I'm able to do it. But anybody who actually buys the game, if you have online connectivity in your home, then by default, you can play it. You have the ability to. But what Nintendo is doing is giving you the option to go on the go and play it if, in fact, you have the data to do it. And I don't see what the problem is with that. It's not an overall requirement for you to be able to do so just because the game is always online and you have an Obama phone. Like, how ridiculous is that?
3-hour battery life. Come on, bro. Stop it.
Well, look, everything that Nintendo does, you got a problem with it. I'm not here to try to fix that for you. That's your prerogative.
Netflix.
I'm just saying, and I don't do with every device that I have. I don't need Netflix.
All in the money. Listen, all in the videos. Taking all the money. Come to death row, nigga.
You know I love you like my brother, bro. I love you like my brother. You all
Listen, man. Listen. We're gonna come back to this debate in about a week after the Switch has been on the market, because you see what IGN gave it, a 6.7.
Yeah, I also seen that IGN gave one of their games a perfect 10 too. Why you never talk about that? Why you never talk about that though? I don't care if it came to the Wii U or not. I'm saying that it's a perfect 10.
I don't have to. So you're saying I get it. Zelda's a great game.
No, but
listen. You never heard me never bash Zelda.
Zaire, can I say something real quick? So we don't talk over each other all the time, and I'm just keeping it super 100. Why is it that when you reiterate constantly about IGN score that's obviously mediocre to below mediocre. Well, I should say mediocre with 6.7.
Okay.
Right? And you reiterate that all the time.
Okay.
But when other people reiterate to you the 10, the perfect score.
I don't have a problem with the 10. I think it's fucking dope.
When I'm saying, but
listen, I forgot.
You only think it's dope after the fact, bro.
No,
bro. It's presented to you.
Go back.
You never, through your own intuition, say
and look and read the scripture. You got to go
back to the definition of hatred, bro. You need to stop that.
You are in the New Testament. I do the laws. You got to go back to the Old Testament.
Man, I've
always said Zelda was my favorite fucking Nintendo game.
I don't know what version of the Bible you.
Yeah, brother, you in the New Testament.
I would assume back there. Your 12 disciples had like the Halo suits on or something like that.
Nah, brother, I'm back in the old. I've always said Zelda was some dope shit. I don't really care for Mario.
I'm saying, and back in the day, you thought Nintendo was some dope shit, and you don't today. My question is,
this Nintendo today,
reiterating the negative aspects of things,
you know why?
You don't
listen. You know why? You know why?
That's the definition of hate, man. Why do you do that?
Listen, you can't hate on something that you can afford. Okay.
Yes, you can. You can't hate on something that you can't afford.
No. When people hate on something, that shit whack as hell. But they want it, but they can't afford it. So that's hate. Okay. Where I'm coming from is from a consumer, right? The Nintendo that I knew and loved had all the great games. If I didn't have a Genesis, I was cool because I had my NES. You understand that? So this Nintendo today, it's not. I had to have that console and some other shit to be satisfied as a gamer. So if you don't understand that, my brother,
I'm not saying that I don't. I think I totally understand that.
So that's my stance,
and I can respect that.
That's my stance.
I was just trying to bring up a point about your hatred and your bias.
No hatred, brother. I listen, but they ain't no hate month in next gen. Our next gen was the Lord Award. I said Zelda's some dope shit, bro.
Xbox
but again, but listen, I'll give you an example. Bayonetta 2. I like the game. I like hack and slash type games.
And if Bayonetta 2.5
like
came out on the Switch, the first thing you'll say is, "But I can play it on the Wii U."
No,
it's like there's always some backhanded shoehorn comment by you. Yes, it is. You've been doing it.
Listen, you're not even buying a goddamn Switch at launch
because
I've
already explained it. There is no game that I play that is worthy of me buying it at this moment. But as soon as Splatoon 2 comes out, you bet your ass I'll have it.
As soon as what come out?
Splatoon 2. Did you hear that? I didn't stutter. Did you take off the white gloves? When Splatoon 2 comes out, I will have it. That's what Jetinightny NY said on your podcast. And everybody knows this. The podcast that I do on Sunday is primarily Nintendo fans, and they know.
You do a podcast on Sunday?
Yeah, I do. Dude, I've been doing a podcast. You see, you hurt my feelings now, bro. I feel like you don't keep up with your boy.
I didn't know, bro. I didn't know you did a podcast on Sunday, but I want you to look me in my eyes. I want, brother.
Yeah.
Listen, nigga. I had to take the shirt off.
All right.
Nigga. Listen.
What's up?
That Switch is some dog shit, bro.
Dude.
I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. The same thing I told you about the Wii U, you was out there on that. That's when you took a fucking hiatus from YouTube. He's out there like crazy, man.
Dude, when we spoke before we went live on the podcast, I told you that I moved to Germany 2 years ago. I stopped with the podcast because I was moving.
Okay, so it took you. So your internet was going. You had no internet for 2 years.
Nah, but it's not like I'm moving to another city or another state, bro. I moved across the Atlantic. That's a different situation.
Okay, all right. My man here dealing with the semantics. Listen here, man.
Yes, sir.
You heard it here first. The Switch will fail.
All right.
You know why? Main reason. Because it only really appeals to their diehard audience.
Well, then if that's the case, it'll be a glowing success to their audience.
Mm-hmm. I beg to differ.
What, you're speaking on behalf of an audience that you're not a part of?
No, I'm speaking of the fact that this phantom audience you're talking about, none of these motherfuckers bought the Wii U.
No, they didn't.
And they're not going to buy this either.
You know why they didn't buy the Wii U?
Because it was a dog shit console.
Can I answer the question since you don't have the answer to it?
I got the answer, Sway. I got the
answer, Sway.
You ain't got the answer, Sway. I got the answer, Sway.
You ain't shit for that.
I got the answer, Sway. Well, give me the answer. Give me the answer.
The answer is
give me the answer.
All of those games went to the 3DS. That's why. And those people bought 3DSs.
All right, so the 3DS stole. That's even worse. The 3DS.
It is what it is. I'm not here to defend and put Nintendo on the pedestal. I'm here to talk facts.
What I got to say here. Hold on, brother, because this can't be real. This can't be life, man. Hold on. We got this shit here on record. Hold on. Listen, he said the reason why the Wii U was a failure because the 3DS stole his audience. And with that one, that's why you don't do drugs and move to Germany. I don't know what the fuck you have to do in Germany. Listen, it's been real, man. We're gonna get the fuck up out of here, man. We're gonna come back. We're gonna revisit this conversation about.
Yo, dude, it's a pleasure. Yo, do it anytime, man. Let me know, and I'll jump on.
You gotta give me your schedules and what your work hours. Like, look, check it out. On Saturdays, I got something jumping off. You'll be a welcome addition. Yeah, we do it about 3:30. I don't know what time that is for you if you're free.
Well, that's like 10:30 p.m. my time. It gets real crazy with the times. If you're on the East Coast, then I'm about 6 hours ahead of you.
All right, so like I said, with 6 hours, we do it. That's like 9:30 your time. We on here Saturday. I just miss everybody. You know what I mean? You're a welcome addition to join.
All right, then what I'll do is on Saturday, send me the link via Twitter. And anytime that I can participate, I'll just jump on. That's pretty much what I do with the podcast that I do on Sundays. I don't do it every single Sunday, just given the times. But when I have the time, I jump on.
Okay, no problem.
Yo, dude, it was always a pleasure, man. We knew each other for years, and this is our first time even talking to one another like this, man.
Yeah, we should do this talking. You said, caw, and all that shit.
Yeah, you was doing
your ass ran away.
You were doing funny shit with your fingers. That's what I was telling you.
I was seeing you sometime in the comment section. You ran for the hills when that Wii U bombed, like I told you.
Oh man, you're a funny dude.
Listen, I forgot about that. Wii U coming back to YouTube now because this. Look, I got fat brothers and super brothers attacking me. I don't know what the hell going on. Next year, we don't watch your shit, nigga. I got everybody coming for me, man. But look, like I said, Saturday at 3:30. I'm here. What I do is I inbox you the link. You're welcome to join.
All right,
but I'm gonna get the link to you. Listen, inbox me the link right now to your channel so I can put it in the comment section. If I got some Wii U widows out there that like that soft porn and pop and that pop rock, I'm gonna leave the link to my man channel. You know what I mean? For all you Princess Peach fuckers out there in the world. You know what I mean? I'm gonna leave the link to my man Jedi New York's channel. Cool brother, man. Check him out, man.
I appreciate that, man.
Thank you for rocking out with us, man.
Yeah, for sure.